Well, welcome back to this half, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we have the GUS Band on stage again, and we started this half with a Whit Friday favourite, George Allan's Knight Templar. And again, there's a reason. There's always forward planning in this band. We are going up to Saddleworth in June. Thank you very much. June the 2nd. I didn't know, really. June the 2nd to compete at the Whit Friday marches, and that's the march we're going to play. And again, we're part of the way rehearsing, but it's sounding pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, the band have got pretty good competitive pedigree at the moment, because we did a contest together for the first time, the regional contest in I was going to say March, but it was February, months ago, wasn't it? Crikey. In February, and the Midland Regional Area Brass Band Championship, something like that, and it was here, no, we're in Kettering now, aren't we? Yeah, it wasn't here, it was in Corby. It was in Corby, and they only went and won. Yay! So between Blackpool and then the Whit Friday marches, we've got our work cut out, but we're on a roll, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm sure you'll join me in wishing the band absolutely the best in their competitive endeavours over the next few months. Well, we're going to continue from March to Overture, and an overture that's very much connected with the band. This year is the band's 90th anniversary, and so in 1983 it was the band's 50th anniversary, if my maths works out. And to celebrate that particular anniversary, the then musical director of the band, Keith Wilkinson, asked Philip Sparke to write a very special overture for the band. He called it Jubilee Overture for very obvious reasons, and it's been a firm favourite with bands all across the world ever since, but it was written for GUS. And so we're very, very proud of that. That's what we're going to play for you now. This is Philip Sparke's Jubilee Overture. thank you very much. A piece by Sparke, Jubilee Overture, and great music it is. Now we're going to introduce two soloists, not both at the same time, one at once, but we have two solo features for you now. And the first one is going to be played by our solo euphonium player, George Bruce. This is actually his second stint as solo euphonium with the band, and he's a real superstar soloist for us. George studied at the Royal Northern College of Music from 2011 to 2015, okay, and did very well. I might say that because I was one of his tutors. But he worked incredibly hard and still is, and you're going to hear real quality euphonium playing now. Now he's chosen to play another piece that's significantly historically significant to the band, in that it's written by a certain Stanley Boddington, who was the musical director of the band in a very successful period, a real golden period for the band you can see behind me. During his tenure as the musical director, the band won 6 national titles. The band won 2 British Opens and 1 World Championships in 1971. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, should we do that in the next few years? Okay, good, that's a deal. And was also awarded an MBE in 1981 for his services to brass band, services to music. And I do believe, I hope this is correct, Stanley Boddington's granddaughter is with us. Is that right, Lisa? Are you here, Lisa? Oh, you're there! Oh, hi! Hi. All right, excellent. Well, welcome, we thank you for everything that Stanley Boddington did for this band. His name is still celebrated in our band room, and we can think of him now as we hear George play this fantastic air and variation solo, Believe Me If All Those Endearing Young Charms. Ladies and gentlemen, George Bruce. Wasn't that amazing? Ladies and gentlemen, George Bruce. Oh, it was going so well. Good. Yeah, fantastic playing from George, and you can see why he's a real star soloist for us. Well, next we're going to have a tuba solo, ladies and gentlemen, but not a piece of music especially written for the tuba, a piece of music especially written for the violin. One of my earliest kind of classical music memories was I went on holiday to Scarborough. No expense spared. Went on holiday to Scarborough with my mum and dad. I was probably maybe 5 or 6 years old, and they took me to. Is there somewhere called Pavilion Theatre or somewhere in Scarborough? I'm not sure. And there was the jazz violinist Max Jaffa. Anybody remember him? Yeah, playing. And to be honest, I have no recollection of him playing at all. But I do remember how he introduced this piece, because he played this piece, and he said, "I'm now going to play the Burnt Bottom." I thought, what's he doing about? He said, "I'm now going to play the Czardas." It's clever, isn't it? And you remember it when you see it, because it's a bit rude, isn't it? Anyway, but that's what we're going to play for you now. We'll call it the Czardas. Okay, it's almost the same, isn't it? And it's I'm going to bring forward our principal tuba player to play this for you. Are you there? Yes, she is. Ladies and gentlemen, Jen McCausland. Ladies and gentlemen, as she makes her way back to her seat, wasn't that absolutely fantastic? Jen McCausland. Well, we have one very short piece before we bring both bands back together, so you can really bathe in the sound of all this brass and percussion. We're going to play for you Peter Graham's Phoenix. So as soon as we play this, of course, a rapturous round of applause, that goes without saying. And also, then give us a few minutes and we'll shuffle around. Is that okay? Here we go, Peter Graham's Phoenix.